Hi, this is Nancy Yearout, and welcome to my show, High Road to Humanity. In every episode, I tell you powerful true stories filled with great wisdom that you can use in your own life as you strive for a higher road to travel. My featured guests will have their own unique stories to tell that enlighten your mind and your soul. So kick back, relax, and learn the secret to success when you take the high road.
First touch, strong connection, it lays deep in your soul.
Hi, this is Nancy Yearout, and welcome to High Road to Humanity. And I have Dr. Scott Werner back here with us today. And Scott, welcome back to High Road to Humanity.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm very, very grateful to be heard and seen. And this is one of those times on the planet that we need to give people hope. And so I hope we can do that with people today, is give you not a false hope, but a real hope that brings your faith up, brings your soul some happiness and joy. So just know we're here to help do that, because there's a lot going on.
I'm really glad you're here. And, Scott's always so full of information, and I'm really glad you joined us again. When I asked you what you wanted to talk about today, you told me something that I didn't really know. You said there's a new stomach flu. It's hitting the whole country, which lasts for weeks, sometimes causing chronic inflammation and abdominal distress for a month or so. Talk about this. I did not know about this.
Yeah, everybody's so worried about the other virus.
Yes.
There's been so much fear put into everybody's hearts that every time people get sick, they're actually going and testing for the COVID. And a lot of them are testing negative because it's other viruses. And there's one that they mutated called the norovirus. And as you know, it's the one that makes all of the cruise ships have to, stall out because everybody's getting nausea and vomiting, and it lasts for days. And everybody, it's so infectious, everybody gets so sick.
Right.
But they mutated it and made it actually even more virulent in the manner that it can stick around even longer. I've had people being sick 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And and it's not fun because your stomach's in upheaval, you got diarrhea, you get the vomiting, and it sort of goes away, then it comes right back.
So it's not this Omicron, and it's not the coronavirus, it's something else.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the Omicron, they build it up to look like this big bad thing, and it's actually less virulent and causes less problems than the original. And a lot of people go, well, look at it backwards, and Omicron is quite a fascinating virus, and but it's not any worse than the common cold in most people. Now, the vaccinated people do get sicker with it. And it's because their immune system's been blasted out of communication, and it's producing these messenger RNA spike proteins rather than producing antibodies against other things. It's so busy producing these because it's programmed in your DNA.
Gotcha. Right.
The messenger RNA actually goes in and programs your DNA in your immune system to produce spike proteins, and proteins that are susceptible to causing you to even get sick. The graphene oxide produces little razor blade like things and cuts up the blood vessels, so you get this coagulopathy problem where you either bleed and can't stop the bleeding, or you coagulate all over the place and cause strokes and respiratory problems, kidney problems. In fact, Vicky's dad got 2 of the vaccinations, And currently he's had a stroke, and
Yeah.
it was due to the spike proteins irritating and going into the brain and causing coagulopathy and causing a stroke.
Yeah, I just read an article that they finally have come out in the news and talked about the blood clots that some of the things are, are causing, especially in women. They said in women like 35 to like, I don't know what it was, 45, something like that, that one of the things that we're taking is causing blood clots in women. And that sounds exactly like what you're talking about.
Yeah, not only blood clots, but it's causing hemorrhaging
Mm.
because it gets in and it affects the syncytial tissues. And literally, these women are bleeding so bad they have to go in and save their life by doing a hysterectomy.
That's crazy. Now,
Oh,
I don't know,
it's
I didn't mention this, but let me give a little bit of information. If you guys don't know who Scott is, Scott Werner, MD, practiced medicine starting out as an OB/GYN, but became a medical intuitive after curing his own cancer with herbs and healing energy. He voluntarily gave up his medical practice to focus on the real causes of dis-ease. I love this. And so that's a little bit of his background. He's written quite a few books. He has a wonderful series. I want to bring this up, Scott, that you've done this wonderful 12-week series, the 12 temples, and talk about this a little bit if you don't mind, because I'm following it. I'm on Temple 8 and I'm learning so much.
well, Saint Germain is like one of my main guides, him and Jesus. And
Mhm.
when I got done doing a 12-week seminar on the Ascension process, then St. Germain said, you need to talk about the initiation temples because they teach us what is necessary to go through the Ascension.
Right.
And so I had Vicky, and he said to me, he says, you need to have a past life regression with Vicky once a week.
That's his wife, you guys. Vicky's his wife. Okay.
Yeah, Vicky does past life regression. She
Yeah.
learned under, oh gad, Dolores Cannon
Oh, wow.
and Brian Weiss. So she
Okay.
learned under two of the best past life regressionists in the world.
Wow.
Dolores Cannon's now dead, but we spent a whole week with her in a beautiful primitive location here in Utah, and just sat under the stars every night. We talked about all of the different secret space programs and all the ETs. And I mean,
Nice.
it was quite an education because she had done a lot of regressions, and a lot of these people had past lives on other planets,
Mhm.
which was pretty cool. And so we were able to learn so much from Dolores. But St. Germain said, have Vicky do a past life regression on you once a week. Go to the initiation temple that you're going to talk about that week. And so that's what I did. I would go back 4,500 years to the initiation temples and set for Serapis Bey, who is the leader of the Ascended Masters, was my leader during these initiations. He was my advisor, he was my teacher, and he would take me through each of the 12 initiation temples that are in Egypt. Now, many of them have been either destroyed, or they're under sand, or they're under the Nile River, where they put, Lake Nasser, built the big dam on the River
Mhm.
Nile to control it.
Right.
And a lot of these temples are underwater, or they haven't been preserved. And Jesus actually went through these same 12 initiatory temples when he was 9 to 12 years old. His family, when he was just a baby, fled Jerusalem and Bethlehem and went to Egypt because Herod was going to kill him. And he killed all the babies under 2 years old because he knew Jesus had this prophecy that he was going to usurp power there in Jerusalem and bring them back under control of the rabbis and the different religious orders of the Hebrews. Now, everybody lumps them into Jews, but they're not all Jews. Jesus was not actually a Jew. He was from the house of Joseph,
Okay.
the one that was sold into Egypt, who actually helped and brought the Israelites, through Moses back out of Egypt. But Joseph was a very important family, and it was prophesied that Jesus would come through the house of Joseph.
Okay.
But everybody lumps them into Jews, But Jew was a slang term for the house of Judah. And because Judas Iscariot was from the house of Judah, they lumped them all into this bad bunch called the Jews, but that's a misnomer, because they were actually Hebrews, and they come through the lineage of Abraham. And believe it or not, even the people following Muhammad, the Islam actually comes through Abraham.
Oh, wow.
And so if you don't know your biblical history, you don't know the history of the planet.
Right.
And many, many of the people on the planet, there's Muhammad was a very interesting, they called him a prophet, but he was he went around just forcing everybody to believe his belief system.
That's crazy.
And that's what caused the Islam and Muslim.
All the issues. Yeah. Hey, we're going to go to commercial break. I'd like to use this for the podcast. So you guys, I'm here today with Scott Werner, and this is Nancy You're Out. This is High Road to Humanity, and we will be right back. Hi, this is Nancy You're Out, and this is High Road to Humanity. And I'm here today with Scott Werner, Dr. Scott Werner, and he's talking to us about Jesus and about, how a lot of different history that I don't think people realized. And thank you for sharing a lot of. I have a question though, while you're talking about the temples, because I'm going through the temples with you. I'm on Temple 8, and I will say that it has helped me in a lot of ways, way more than I ever realized it could. So I commend you for teaching this, by the way. But did any women ever go through the initiation?
Oh, absolutely.
Women did they?
Through,
oh, good.
Men went through it.
Okay.
In fact, in my first follow-up, I was taking somebody through the Sun Temple who was a woman.
Hey.
And my first initiate after I became a master.
Okay.
And so it was quite fascinating, because Vicki took me to another past life regression in the Sun Temple, and it was a woman initiate. And the Essenes were the ones running the temples. Now, a lot of people don't know who the Essenes were. And the Essenes were the original followers of the Almighty I Am that I Am. And so they were the original Saint Germain followers, except Saint Germain hadn't, been born yet at that time. But what's fascinating is Mother Mary was an Essene. Okay. And her mother, Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, was an Essene. And she actually lived in Egypt, and they lived quite a long time. The humans that had not tainted their DNA, they still had the 24 strand DNA. They actually could live up to 1,000 years. And the grandmother of Jesus lived 650 years. People don't know about this.
Wow.
And she didn't have Mother Mary till she was like 500 years old.
Seriously? Oh no. Now, how come that's not in the Bible, is it? Or is it in the Bible? Yeah, it's not.
Not in the Bible.
Well, okay. So how do you know all this, Scott?
Well, Mark and Claire Prophet had revelations about Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, and told her history and her story, and actually channeled Anna, the mother of Mother Mary. And she actually became pregnant through an immaculate conception with Mother Mary.
Oh, no
Mother
kidding.
Mary and Jesus came about through an immaculate conception,
Okay.
which is fascinating
It
because
is.
so Mother Mary was equivalent in power and stature
To
to
Jesus. To Jesus.
yes,
Yeah.
which is incredible. And a lot of people don't realize this. Yeah, we've
No.
had divine mothers. We've had divine feminine for ever since the planet.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to say something. I always felt that she had that. I don't know why, but I always intuitively felt that. But I know that also there are books that she wrote that were supposed to be included in the Bible that were taken out because at the time they wanted men to be the rulers. And so we didn't see a lot of what she had to say, you know?
They want us to have a patriarchal society where the men were in
Right.
charge. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
the men are the hunters and
Yeah.
the warriors and all this stuff. But the women are actually the ones who kept society going, kept everything, the food cooked. They were the herbal experts that kept everybody healthy, And the men, they just were out there pondering the universe while watching their sheep or whatever they were doing,
Scott, you're so funny. Well, no, it's true. And it all changed, and because of the people who were in charge. And it's really sad because intuitively, and then even you can look back and see that it wasn't really meant to be that way. It was meant to be that everyone worked together and in unison and be equal.
Yes. And if the women would have been in charge, we wouldn't have had all the wars and destruction and crap that happened.
That's true, Scott. That is
Men
true.
tend to not think very clearly, and they're more for battling it out. And we would have had a much more peaceful planet had the women been in charge and teaching these things. Now, during this last session we talked a little bit about how all the children were trained in a very good manner about love and taking care of each other. And this was done in the area of the Love Temple, which was a huge complex when I went to it. They had multiple buildings and areas where they were teaching the children the truth, who we humans really are, and our capabilities as creators and our energy to do great good things and build things. I mean, those pyramids in Egypt didn't get built, by a bunch of slaves. They were actually built by higher beings. When we become more enlightened, more in a capacity of our true powers as humans, we can levitate 20,000-pound rocks and move them from a quarry over to where they built the Great Pyramid. These were not built by slaves. These were built by levitation abilities and humans who had developed their powers by doing the initiations. And that's who we are. We are very powerful people, but we've been so dummied down that we don't know our capacity. We don't know really who we are.
Well, a lot of us do now. And so as we know now who we are, and we're teaching and you're teaching your class, your classes, and I'm doing this show, people are starting to realize. So people are starting to wake up, and it's not woke, you guys, it's wake up. And so, we're waking up, and we're going to start to be able to do more of these things. I just have a feeling that all of a sudden people, as they start to ascend, are going to start to do this stuff. You can call it magic. You can call it creating. What do you think, Scott? I can just feel it.
Oh, I totally agree. We are going to perform miracles.
Yeah.
And the biggest miracle of all is waking up the entire humans, because we're all one. And the law of one, where one goes, we all go. Right. And so we need that oneness energy in
Mhm.
order to get us all ready for the ascension. And then humanity as a group will go through an ascension process. And this is coming soon.
When do you think? Do you have a time? Or I know you don't know time, but I'll ask you anyway. What do you think? What's your gut on this one?
Well, when Saint Germain first appeared to me, I asked him the question. I said, okay, when's Jesus coming again?
Yeah.
When is the ascension happening? And
Right.
he said 2034. And so for a long time, I taught that. But when this whole new thing happened on the planet that the diabolical people wanted, because they knew they had a very short time to take control of humanity, because whoever controls humanity literally controls the universe. And Saint Germain, in my second book, he talked about the artificial intelligence.
Wait a minute. I need to stop you right there. Whoever controls humanity on Earth controls the universe.
Yes.
Why?
And
I didn't know it was that big.
oh, our
Dude,
planet
I
has
had,
been a experiment of bringing humans from all over the universe into one spot and seeing what they will do with the information they have without knowledge of their previous lives. That's why we don't remember anything. And it's like Matthias de Stefano says, it's about remembering who we truly are, because those memories are in us. And the cloud where they keep all of the information, it's water, crystalline water. Our army owns these huge crystal mines in Arkansas, and they've actually put lakes over a lot of the beds where there's literally the hugest crystals on the planet. And they're using that as the cloud. Well, guess what? Our bodies are 70% water, and we are becoming more crystalline, especially after doing further work with our DNA. We actually start becoming crystalline and water internally, and we have the capacitors through those crystals and water to store information and bring information from other sources. And as we do this, we become smarter, we become more powerful. Our energy levels literally come off the roof. We've had pictures done. I love Kirlian photography because it shows the auric field and the chakras, the energy centers. But as we do this work, our auric field changes and it becomes supercharged. Like I had brilliant photography done on me, and I had become this really deep purple, and it kind of freaked me out when I first saw it.
right.
Because I was going, what the heck? Is this bad? I'm darker, and it's very dark violet. And the lady that had done the picture, she says, no, Scott, this is fantastic. This means you're on your ascension path and you're raising your vibration. This is this shows that you have more power now.
And that's something.
And I was like, it does? And I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yay. All right, we're going to go to commercial break again. When we come back, we're going to talk more about why this is such a big deal. You guys, I'm here today with Scott Werner. I'm so glad he joined me. This is Nancy. You're out. This is High Road to Humanity, and we'll be right back. High Road to Humanity. I'm here today with Scott Werner. Oh, somebody's messing with my computer. I tell you what, they've been messing with me a lot lately, Scott. I don't know what's going on. But we're talking about Earth, and we're talking about the ascension. And, honestly, I know in my gut, in my soul, and I told you on break how important this is, but I didn't realize that, it was like universal.
Oh, that's why all of these ETs are here. I mean, we're seeing ETs every night now, and we can actually call them in to us, using.
I don't think I want to.
Oh, it's amazing. It's fun because they're here to watch what we're doing and they're interacting with us.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they are, they're terraforming the earth, making it more compatible for, the robot type things. And it won't be as compatible for humanity. And because transhumanist is the agenda of the dark side. And transhumanist means making the humans into the Borg or the robots, and being the slaves. They're trying to enslave us through our DNA and changing our DNA. The Supreme Court has actually ruled that those who are receiving the messenger RNA are no longer human and no longer have the rights and sovereignty of humans, which, a lot of people are going, what?
Oh, that's crazy.
But this was done in 2013 when they started manipulating the DNA of the humans. They took it to court and they found that by altering the DNA and putting in patented material into our DNA, we are no longer human. And we are the property of the patent holders. Now, isn't that interesting? Guess who holds all the patents?
Tell me, Scott.
Fauci, and guess who else? Bill Gates. And I know this sounds weird, but look it up, do your research. I'm not lying to you. This is real, and it's devastating because all these people getting the jabs are becoming transhumanists. They're altering their DNA and they're inserting transistors and receivers into their bodies, and they're going to do mind control inside their bodies.
Well, how is this going to be stopped so that we can ascend it while they're doing this? Because there's a lot of people, I know probably get this question all the time, but you've got all these people who've taken the thing and they're being controlled, and there's people who are not, but we need to ascend as a whole. So
Yes.
how are we going to, help here? What do we do?
Well, as we go through our initiation temples, we're taught that we have powers to create and uncreate. So we can actually take our children who've had the darn jab and uncreate what has been put into their DNA, what has been put into their bodies, uncreate it out of their bodies and bring them back to being a sovereign human again. Okay. And we have this power. We are created in the likeness and image of the Creator. We have the same powers as a creator. In fact, Jesus taught that, everybody thought Jesus had unusual powers, and he did. But he said, you will come after me and you will perform even more miracles than I have.
Right.
And he was prophesying that we will become more powerful and do things that will be commonly caused as miracles, because everybody will go, how did that happen?
Scott, as you're saying this, I feel like we had to go through this, because if we wouldn't have realized our power and come into it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why all the ETs are here watching us, because they want to see the miracle happen. And the miracle that's going to happen is we are all going to get to the point where we hit that 100th monkey effect. We're going to have enough of us awoke that the woke people will literally take all the other humans and perfect them and bring them into the fold, and we'll all ascend as one. And it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be the event of the entire universe, believe it or not.
I am so thrilled to be here.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool if you think about it.
It is. So go ahead, keep going, keep talking to us.
Well, and the ones that are, they're thinking that they can make us into robots or Borg or what, android humans, And the thing is, we were never meant to be that by our Creator.
No,
We were meant
no.
to be powerful, beautiful, happy, joyous human beings. We weren't meant to cause wars. We weren't meant to destroy things and cause problems.
Right.
But we have those few who have become possessed by the dark side.
Yeah.
And we were going to talk about this too, that, we have the power over the dark side.
Yeah, let's
And
talk
we
about that.
can bring all the dark back to the light. It was fascinating because this summer, before I went to Mount Shasta, several people informed me, oh no, Scott, the reptilians have invaded Mount Shasta and they forced all the telos out, and the whole mountain is on fire. In fact, it's burning up, but it's even the glacier on top of Mount Shasta is all melted because of the heat and all the problems. And so I asked Saint Germain, what do we do? And Saint Germain said, well, you know what to do. You need to depossess the mountain, get all the reptilians and bring them back into the light. And I was like, well, there's over 1,000 of them in the mountain. And Saint Germain said, focus on the leader and have him go to the light. And once he goes to the light, the others will follow. Well, being the leader, he was really nasty and mean. And so we had to put him in a cylinder of light with the seal of Solomon, with the 72 names of God. And once we confined him, all the other reptilians, they lost their leader and they were like, what do we do? What do we do? And that's when we got a group together and we meditated. We told them, all you need to do is choose to go to the light, peel off the darkness and go to the light. And immediately about 300 of them literally peeled off this dark covering that was over their bodies, and they became these beautiful golden beings, and they flew off to heaven. And then the others watching this, they were like, well, we want to go to the light too. Because they get tired of doing evil things. I mean,
Yeah.
there's only so much evil
that you can do. Yeah.
And so they all followed. And by the time we were done, it took about 35 minutes. We were in a cave above Shasta Lake there in California. And there was a group of us literally telepathically in communication with all of the reptilians. And they peeled off and they became these beautiful beings of light, and they left and went to heaven. And so Mount Shasta was cleared and the energy was beautiful again. And it was amazing because this was 2 days before the conference started of Rob Potter's. He does the Promise Rebuild conference. And he always talks about, the Venusians and the love that is taught. In fact, Michael Jaco talked at the conference and talked about he spent 6 months on Venus just learning about love. I can't imagine going through 6 months just learning about love, man.
I think it's great.
Especially with the Venusians who know love. Their planet is very peaceful and loving.
Yeah.
They literally are an amazing bunch of humans, and we need to follow the Venusians and bring love to planet Earth, and all of us get into the ascension process where we become fifth dimensional beings made out of light, plasma, and love. And it's a beautiful thing.
That's true. We got to go to commercial break. Before we do, I just want to say one thing as you're talking about this. I just thought to myself, wow, Bill Gates just totally didn't realize God was in charge.
Well,
isn't that
billions
interesting?
of dollars,
Like,
you tend to think you can control the world.
Oops. Okay. All right, you guys. I'm here today with Scott Werner. This is Nancy. You're out. This is High Road to Humanity, and we'll be right back. Hi, this is Nancy Earlt, and this is High Road to Humanity. And I'm here today with Scott Werner. We're having a wonderful conversation about God and about the Ascension and about these initiation temples. You guys, if people want to do this, because I'm doing it now and I'm on, just because I'm a little behind the 8 ball because I've been a little busy, but I'm on 8. I plan on going through all 12, and then you have follow up. Tell people how they can do this with you, Scott.
Well, they can give us a call at 435-986-0025 here in the United States. So +1, the country code. And Canada is a part of the US, so they're +1 too. But anyway, they call that number and request to get on. We're charging $100 for the follow-ups, and you get the link to the original teachings. I highly recommend doing that, or you can email me at scott.healthlongevitync@gmail.com and sign up, ask to be signed up through that. Saint Germain does not want me restricting anybody because of cost. If you just tell us we'd like to donate, but we don't have any money, we'd like the link, we'll give that to you. Saint Germain does not want to restrict anybody from having access to this. It's fascinating. We've got to make money, but it's okay. We're here to serve the planet and help everybody. And so the initiation temples, there's 12-hour teachings of each Ascension temple. And I'm doing a follow-up because there's a lot of information in each of these teachings. And we as humans, we've been so dummied down, we don't get a lot of these teachings because our brains just can't comprehend it. And so I'm doing a follow-up with them and answering questions about each of the initiation temples and all of the Ascension, things, because people have questions about all kinds of stuff right now because they're so confused with all the disinformation we're being fed, all the programming that's going on through the media and everything. We're just being loaded with all kinds of misinformation. And God wants us to know the truth, the universal truth, the laws. The 10 Commandments weren't just suggestions. They were things that God said, this is what you must and must not do. You need to honor your parents. You need to not kill people, and people
Do not steal. Yeah. Do not covet your neighbor's wife, those kind of things. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really meant it. I will say one thing, I had asked you before the show, we were talking about some of the dark entities coming in, but one thing you did teach in one of the temples, I can't remember which one it was, if it was the love one, but you taught, when you were in the temple, when you send the evil or the dark love, it just dissipates. I mean, it can't do anything to you because when you send out the energy of love, you're basically, how can I say this? Preventing them from hurting you in any way.
Oh, yeah. Fear is the opposite of love. In fact, it's the lack of love.
Right.
And so the whole fear thing is creating the energy that kills us because we as humans, we need love to live. And, we did these studies at St. Louis at Cardinal Glennon Hospital. When I was a medical student, I participated in the studies and getting the information. And literally babies were being born premature, 24 to 28 weeks. And at first they weren't allowing the parents to even touch them because they were afraid they would infect them and cause them to die. But guess what happened anyway? The lack of touching, the lack of the love caused the babies to die. So when they did the study, 50% of the kids were able to be held by their mothers, held by their fathers, held by people that loved them. And these babies thrived instead of getting diseases, they thrived. And so they had to stop the study because they found the ones that were in the control group not getting the love died.
Yeah.
And so
That's,
I
yeah.
extrapolated that when I became an OBGYN, telling the mothers, send love to your baby, even if they had genetic problems. Instead of aborting them, because a lot of women didn't want to abort babies, but they were told by their doctors, oh, your baby's defective. So, might as well abort the baby. But we took and we started teaching them the power of belief, that Bruce Lipton teaches.
Yeah.
And the biology of belief. We would teach them to play good music, to send love to the baby, to talk to the baby, to project that the baby's DNA was perfected. And guess what happened? The babies came out and there was no birth defects. There was no problems.
Now you say project. Yeah, you say project. And I want to throw this out here. It's a visualization, you guys. I want to tell people that you can visualize anything because we're such great creators. So when Scott says this, he's talking about really visualize it, really see it in your mind's eye and believe it and know it. And that's how we create the outcome. I just want to throw that out there because
you've got it down.
Now, if I could just do it all the time. And it's hard. It's not easy. It's easier said than done. When you're in, so we go 3D, 5D, 7D, 5D, 3D. We're all over the place because we're here on Earth, right? We're here on Earth and you got to deal with people in 3D and then you get back up to 5 and then somebody brings you down to 3. It's just a whole, what do you think about that?
Oh, no, I agree. We're on like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
What we got to do is we got to stabilize into the higher dimension.
Just
we
stay
don't
there.
want to be 3D. We want to be higher vibration because we will perform miracles in the higher vibration.
Right.
Like Jesus did.
Now, the only thing I can suggest, and I want to hear your suggestion on this one, when people try to bring me down in 3D, I just observe and maintain. I'm a lot better than I used to be. What do you say? Yeah. What do you say, Scott? I mean,
whenever anybody's trying to bring me down, I always project love at them and bring them up.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, Ho'oponopono is all about bringing the love. You start out saying, I love you. I forgive you. I'm sorry that we had this disagreement or whatever it was. And I am grateful for you. And as you project this telepathically even, it shifts the consciousness of the person you're dealing with and brings them into a higher state. In fact, Hugh Lin took criminal sociopaths and made them into teddy bears, good people that would give you the shirt off their back instead of stabbing you, I mean, it's a power we don't know that we have, and yet we have this power and we need to use it. And Ormus makes us more powerful. Ormus is a concoction of gold, silver, and copper, and it actually strengthens our auric field and our energies so that we can do more and become even more powerful. And that's one of the reasons, the ancients were digging gold. They enslaved us to dig gold for these crazy Anunnaki and other beings that were wanting to control the humans so they could become more powerful, taking our gold and silver and copper.
Was that for the Ormus? To make the Ormus, you think, or just for whatever?
Oh, they make all kinds of things out of it. In fact, a lot of our electronics are made with these products because they're very good conductors.
Right, copper.
Magnetic energy.
Yeah, sure. I want to talk about the Ormus. I have some here today, and I ordered it after watching the 12 temples or the temples with Scott. And I started it yesterday. And talk about how to take this. I thought this was so interesting. You ask your body how much it needs.
Yes.
So I asked my body, how much do I need? And it fell forward. So that was one. And then I asked again and I went forward. So it said I needed 4 drops yesterday. Today it told me I needed 3. So do you take it every day, Scott? Now that I've done this.
I do.
Do you? Okay. All right.
Since I've been teaching the initiations and we've had
I know.
We have a guy by the name of Dennis Clement making it. He's a previous super secret soldier. In fact, how he figured out who he was, he did a regression with Vicky, and he went to all these planets that he had gone to with the secret space program. And then he started remembering everything he had done. He was on one of these huge ships, mile-long spacecraft, and he was the chemist, and his job was to keep everybody healthy, and he was making ormas on these secret space program ships. So he started making it, and we get it through him because he makes it through this crystallized nanoparticulate water that has been reformed and formatted to bring energy into the body. But by dissolving the copper, gold, and silver in this, it actually puts a crystalline water energy around it. And it's so powerful. I mean, it's amazing. Every time I take it, it makes my energy higher. And it makes me more healthy. It makes the herbs I take even more powerful.
Well, I have to say, when I took it yesterday, I got real clear.
Yes.
Like it was boom. I was like clear. I was like, oh, okay. And that, yeah. And you can probably tell I'm a little hyper because I took it before the show.
Oh, I'm glad you did, because you're more clear. And it does. It makes you more in tune with your God self.
Yeah. It's Ormus, you guys. If you want to get some, Scott, you just call Scott and he'll order some up for you. Yeah.
There's others out there. I recommend this one because it's a very small amount, because it's nanoparticulate, and some of them out there are higher, and they're still in the atomic form of agglutination, or they don't disperse as easy, but the nanoparticles are much better.
Okay. All right. Hey, we got to get out of here for today. I have to say, I appreciate you coming. I mean, we learned so much from you, Scott. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And
Can
I give everybody a blessing?
Yes. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
In the name of the Almighty, I am that I am, the creator of the multiverse, and by virtue of the great divine director, or the Holy Spirit of God, teaching truth to all the humans throughout the multiverse, we give you a blessing for your behalf. We bless each and every one of you that you will know the truth of what we are speaking, and you will incorporate the truth into your life, and the truth will surely set you free, Jesus taught. We bless you that your bodies will be made strong, that your minds will be made whole, that you will receive the love of God in your heart, mind, and soul, and this will perfect you and make you stronger and more whole. We bless your spirit that it will not fear, it will come back into the love energy, and the love will heal you and keep the viruses away, because in love, the viruses cannot survive. We bless you that you will bring about changes within your daily routine to bring God back into your life. You will pray, you will meditate, you will contemplate these things and these teachings and come back into a happier, more ecstatic state of being in contact with the divine. We bless each and every one of you that you will feel the Spirit of God within you, and the Spirit of God will heal you and keep you whole and safe. And we seal this blessing upon you in the name of the Almighty, I am that I am, the creator of the multiverse, in the name of Yeshua ben Joseph, also known as Jesus the Christ, teaching the Christ consciousness to all of us. And we bless you that you will receive this with love, hope, and faith, in the name of the Almighty.
Amen.
God bless us all.
God bless you, Scott. Thank you. Hey,
Thank
guys.
you.
This is Nancy. You're all. This is High Road to Humanity. We will see you next time. Everybody take care and God bless.
Connect the dots and keep the motion. Can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road.
Hey, you guys, join me next week on The High Road for more stories filled with wisdom, love, and hope for our future. Have a fabulous week, and know that by staying on the high road, you will make it to your destination. Visit my website, nancyyearout.com, where you can book a private session to learn how to tap into your own abilities. And check out my YouTube channel. It's Nancy Yearout's High Road to Humanity.
You can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high